So, Malcolm, who's your favorite Sims influencer? Spill the tea.
I would have to say this creator, I don't know if you've heard of them, but her name
Mm.
is Lady Drama.
Yes, I heard she's fabulous, but I don't know if I should be flattered or if I should be offended. I don't know
True.
if you've noticed, but Sims influencers nowadays, like it's a term that seems to collect all sorts of creators. Have you seen that?
I have seen that. A bunch of random people who I've never heard of have been getting sponsored by EA. As a matter of fact, I think any day now, we might be getting an email from EA asking for us to make some sponsored Sims content.
I might want to receive a Coach bag. I'm not gonna lie, could sell it on Vinted, 400 euros. How about that?
So let's start off with this random Instagram creator who is basically a lifestyle influencer. A few weeks ago, they made this video, and for those who are just listening, we're going to do our best to describe it for you. This is a video of a person in their apartment, and they've got
have
a
a plumb bob.
pizza. They have a plumb bob over their head. That is essential for any sponsored Sims video. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
They have pizza, the lights are dimmed, and they're just having a cozy night at home. And what are they playing there on the TV? What is that?
Seems to me that they're playing The Sims 4, but is it on console? They have a TV, so the
I
audacity.
believe so. Yeah.
The audacity of playing it on console.
Don't forget about the console players, They're people too.
The caption of this video is time literally flew by when playing The Sims at The Sims 4. Then there's like an emoji and then it says totally worth it though, honey, on console. Recently got the City Living expansion pack. Definitely one of my favorite packs. Use my affiliate code for an extra 5% off at The Sims holiday sale. And I'll tell you the hashtags to listeners because you need to know. Hashtag sponsored by EA. Hashtag Simit and see. Oh, I hadn't seen this slogan in a long, long time, I gotta say. Hashtag The Sims 4. Hashtag gaming. Hashtag cozy home. And I would add personally, but that's just me, expensive home, honey. What is this apartment? Okay.
I mean, EA must be paying these influencers really well because I think the rent for this place is maybe more than my student loan debt, actually.
Definitely. Absolutely.
So this is a really good example of a random non-Sims creator just getting sponsored by EA. And we've been seeing this a lot lately of EA sponsoring the most obscure creators and influencers, people who have nothing to do with The Sims, or in a lot of cases, people with very small followings. This
Sure.
creator, though, I think they're pretty famous. This video itself has 32,000 likes, which is wild. And apparently, all you need to feel cozy on a nice Friday night is some pizza and The Sims console version, The Sims 4 console version. And you're set.
The lies.
The lies.
I mean,
Exactly.
if console players, please do share your experience in the comment section down below wherever you are, because I don't know how cozy it gets when you're trying to boot up The Sims 4 on your console. From the comments I've read, it's not that cozy as this creator is making it look.
And here's the thing, they're not the only one. We also found another lifestyle, slow living influencer who did a sponsored video for The Sims. So for those who are listening again, we have a very similar setup here. We got The Sims 4 playing on a big flat screen TV. We have
Console?
some snacks. Yes, console version, can't forget that. I know this game crashed within 10 minutes of opening it. I know that for a fact. I've actually played The Sims 4 on PS4, and
Mm-hmm.
it is such a buggy experience. Like, so many glitches. It performs so badly. You would think it would be great without custom content and mods and stuff, but it's atrocious. But in this video, we have, what is that little, there's a little icon on the screen. What was that? It was like it looked like a pineapple to me. What was that?
Yes. So this is filmed at the time of the cursed SpongeBob kits because the loading screen, it's not the loading screen, the home screen of this person's The Sims 4, it has that big SpongeBob pineapple behind the sim that they created.
Mhm.
So that is always a shocking image to see, to be honest. In general, this
Yes.
new screen from The Sims, I was like, oh, okay, now they're doing this overhaul. But yeah, never forget the SpongeBob kits. Don't you ever forget, honey. We will never
Yes.
forget.
Cannot forget. It actually, I think I still have nightmares about it. The
True.
caption of this video says, hashtag sponsored by EA, cozy game night with The Sims. I decided to dive back into one of my fave franchises and had a blast. Give the gift of The Sims this holiday season on sale through January 5th. Hashtag gaming, hashtag game night, hashtag sim it and see. Is that what it says?
Yes,
Hashtag
of course.
The Sims 4.
Can I read the second comment that Instagram is showing us just for the lols? Because the second comment to this reel says, "You don't know ball."
I have to agree. Something tells me he literally just played this game for 5 minutes, enough to get the footage for the sponsored video, and then he never touched it again.
Oh, absolutely. And again, if you're just listening, we have another example of a very, rich looking apartment once again, because EA is going for the non-Sims creators, but also the non-poor creators. Let's be clear. They want to give that cozy vibe with a very full bank account, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get people buying $1,500 worth of DLC by targeting low income people. You got to get the rich, the Nepo babies and the like out here buying The Sims 4.
True. Yeah. EA literally said, it's expensive to be me.
Oh, God. That's a reference. Let us know if you got the reference down below. So why do we think EA is out here sponsoring these random lifestyle influencers? People who seemingly have nothing to do with The Sims. They're not even video game content creators. Why do you think EA is sponsoring these people?
That's true. I wasn't even thinking. They're not even gaming influencers. It's not like they're branching out to just cozy gaming. They're going absolutely just for the influencers of it all. Like you said before, like slow living. To me, it's clear that they are just fishing for some new audience, some new customers, and maybe even some new faces. I don't know about that because, for example, these two creators, they don't seem to be recurring. And I also get the feeling that once these non-Sims influencers get sponsored, some of them, not all of them, but some of them receive that backlash that we would expect from a more classic Sims influencer. And so their answer to the next email from the EA network is, hell no, I don't want this backlash in my comment session. And they're probably even a little bit more expensive. So I guess EA is doing these little capsule collaborations, trying to reach new people, more people. And from what I saw in the comments, it also seems that this is a way to invest in those people that maybe know the IP, because many comments were saying, oh, I remember all the hours that I spent playing Sims, as though they are not really the Sims 4 players, but they do know the game. And so this is a good fishing net for them, maybe. Especially
Yeah.
because they are advertising a sale. And so it's easier to get them to purchase something, right?
True. And it's also important to note that these videos were posted post buyout announcement and after we had that mass exodus of Sims content creators from the EA Creator Network. So they
True.
definitely had a bit more money in the budget after all the big names left, and they had to spend that cash on someone. So I guess they decided to target these lifestyle influencers on Instagram and TikTok to get them to get you, hopefully, to buy some Sims packs during the sale.
I mean, they were advertising city living in 2026, honey. City living in
Wasn't
2026.
that was one of the first Sims packs to come out, wasn't it?
Yes. I'll tell you
Weird.
when it came out, because now I'm curious. So City Living came out November the 1st, 2016. Yeah. We're paying influencers to advertise content that came out 10 years ago.
They must be desperate.
It's giving desperate, yes. Desperation.
Speaking of random sponsorships, we have another creator, this time a popular YouTuber who, again, is not a Sims creator, but it looks like EA must have offered a nice chunk of change to this guy to make this video.
This was a high production cost, high production value.
So for anyone who's just listening, the video is titled The Horrors of Royalty in The Sims. And the first image we see is a man sitting on a throne with, what's that up there above his head?
It looks like a plumb bob, a shocker.
Of course, can't forget the floating plumb bob. It's a necessary for sponsored videos.
Yeah, that's, by the way, that is The Sims 3 plumb bob, by the way. Just saying.
Oh.
That is not the design of The Sims 4 plumb bobs.
Don't tell EA.
You didn't
they
even
might
get
have,
that right.
Yeah. Don't let the Sims team know this. They might have something to say.
Ask how I built such a powerful dynasty. And to that I say, sacrifice. I accept nothing but perfection in my dynasty. When I found out that my son, the heir to my throne, pee-peed his pants at the grand ball when he was a child, I knew I had to declare him an outcast. That is no son of mine. When I went through a noble's trash and found out about a scandal they'd been hiding, I knew I had to blackmail them and extort them for simoleons. Not really a step up in the noble ladder, but I used that cash to buy a nice rug. And when that same noble stood against me ascending the throne for some unknown reason, I'm sure not related at all to the fact that I blackmailed him for simoleons and bought a rug with the cash he gave me, I challenged him to a duel and struck him down then and there. I'm honestly still surprised I won. I've only ever dueled the practice dummy in my basement. And it is actions like this that have made my dynasty what it is today. That and the fact that I pulled the legendary sword out of the stone, I'm sure that probably had something to do with it along the way. Build your own dynasty with the Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy expansion pack out now. A lot of people ask how I built such
Like, he
Out
didn't
now.
even need to play the game, baby, by the way. He is not, if you just listen, he's not even playing the game. He just green screened the scenes and put himself in the scenes with the Sims from the trailer of this pack of Royalty and Legacy, the latest expansion pack that they released.
Yeah.
I mean-
Amazing. The production value is pretty
Yeah.
impressive, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But this video is obviously a sponsored video for The Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy, which was the last Sims 4 expansion released, what was it, 5 months ago?
Yeah.
So the interesting thing here is that, as we mentioned, this creator is not a Sims creator. They do make content about video games. But what I find most interesting here is the comments on the video. So the top comment says, EA having to outsource is crazy. Banger skit though. Yes, EA having to outsource is crazy. I mean, they are outsourcing. We saw that. Another comment says, remember, EA's not worth your money. If you want to play, find a ship and call yourself Blackbeard.
We love the pirates in any Sims related comments section. Ahoy, hotties. We love to see it.
Yes. Great skit. Love your stuff, but you could literally not even blackmail me to spend even a single dollar on The Sims. Still, good on you for getting the sponsor. So, as we can see, very supportive comment section here.
Yeah, it's true. At least, they're being fair, they're happy that this creator got the bag because, again, for such a high value production, I believe that this sponsor video was paid well. I hope for him that this was a good check that he got from EA. But his community, they're supporting him getting paid for this, but they're also reading EA and The Sims to filth. And we love to see that.
We love to see that. Absolutely. This other comment says, EA should probably fix their buggy expansion pack before sponsoring people to advertise it.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Tea.
That's kind of similar to something we've been saying for a few years at this point. Where are the priorities? Are the priorities in the room with us over there at EA and The Sims?
No, absolutely not. They just need advertisement. Because let's not forget, again, I appreciate that some of these creators' communities are happy for them for getting such a big sponsorship. But at the same time, even if, for instance, I think this specific creator, he just did this video, and then I have not seen any other sponsored by EA content. But all of these videos are basically advertisement. It's a window to lure in more people with the hope that reaching for people that are not in the Sims community and therefore that maybe are not familiar with the buyout, the state of the game, the overall value of The Sims 4 if you want to have the complete library. They hope that the people who basically don't know about all of this might give it a try. Maybe they'll just get, The Sims 4 base game for free and royalty and legacy because this creator, for example, is making it look. It's kind of making it look like he was playing The Sims 3 Medieval. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's a little bit too good to be true with this video.
Yeah.
But one thing that's interesting is that compared to those lifestyle influencers on Instagram, because it seems like a lot of this guy's viewers are gamers, they're fully aware based on the comments that EA is not to be trusted. Even one of those top comments was saying, how about they fix this buggy expansion before paying you to make this video? And
that's true.
Wholeheartedly agree with that comment. Look, we know that influencers are going to get their bag one way or the other, but an interesting thing, and I think a discussion that we want to have with you today as we look at more sponsored videos, specifically getting into some of these Sims creators who are sponsored, is the ethics of doing sponsored content for EA post buyout. So again, this is a company that was announced to be purchased by Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner, September 29th, 2025. All of these videos were posted after that announcement. So that's part of the discussion we're going to have today. And that's something that I guess we should be considering whenever we watch these videos is it ethical to take a EA sponsorship in the year of our Lord Beyonce 2026? Is it ethical?
That's the question. And also, I believe that having this rundown of what we'll be watching together today, that could give us some insight because, there are a lot of these creators that we will show you that I was not aware of, even if you are, familiar with Sims Spaces, there are some creators and some content that you may miss. And I feel that it's important to watch it and have some sort of conversation around it today, as the buyout is almost, but not yet, finalized. And maybe, I don't know, maybe in a couple of months, we'll get back to it and see how this whole influencer world, Sims influencer economy and reality, if and how it changed after the buyout. Because I'm really wondering, I don't want to give you spoilers, but we will get more into, very Sims and just Sims type of influencers. So I think it's important to watch what they've been doing so far and what they're doing today, so that later on, once the buyout is finalized, we can see how they change their strategy, if they change their strategy with the awareness of having watched the content that has been produced so far in a world where the buyout news has already dropped. It's not like these influencers don't know about it. Come on.
Right. And one thing that we've seen already from some Sims creators, for instance, Lil Simsy, we saw her a few months ago post some videos for those SpongeBob kits that we referenced earlier. When she did that, she got a lot of pushback from her community because they were saying, look, even though the EA deal hasn't technically been finalized, it's been approved by shareholders. They've taken a majority of the steps to complete the deal. It's 90% done. Even though it's not officially done, you're still promoting the game today. And in the scope of the buyout, do you think it is ethical for these people, even though, again, the deal is not officially finalized, do you think it's moral to promote EA products today? What do you think?
That's the age-old question and we've touched a little bit on this in previous episodes of the show. Go watch or listen right now. They're available. But I think that the problem here, and I also read this from many comments from our lovely community, the problem here is that many creators, even big creators that are obviously beloved because of what they bring to the table. We mentioned Little Simsy. I think she's a great example of it.
Love
her community loves her for her.
Huge fan. Yeah. I'm not being sarcastic. Lil Simsy stands don't come for me now. Love it. Love Lil Simsy. Love a Blue Suburban. And I also get so gay off that tequila. So.
I think that in her case, what bothered her viewers, the example that you mentioned, first of all, she bought those SpongeBob kits and then she reviewed them, and regardless of her review being good or bad, she promoted them, she advertised them in a way to her community. And let's not forget that this happened after she left the Creators Network, by the way. So she had already made that move. She already took that position, which we love. I loved when I woke up one day and all the news I saw was saying that all the big Sims influencers left the network. I had a very nice emotion about it, and just thinking about it, it was great. The problem here is that just like Little Simsy, many of these creators still feel as though, and maybe that is something that they notice in their analytics. Obviously, I have no idea. I don't know the data that they get from their viewers and the numbers that they have on whether they change topic or not. But I feel that many of these creators cannot detach their content and their brand from the Sims brand. And we can even discount The Sims 4, meaning maybe their channel's personality is The Sims, period. Maybe they do play through with the older titles. They don't have to necessarily be all about The Sims 4, right? But it seems to be very hard for them to just close, cut completely all ties to the IP, because it's almost as if that's the core of who they are as a creator. And maybe there's also the fear that their community will not support them as much, will not love them as much if Sims content just disappears. I'm thinking about the long ass posts that all of the protagonists from the creators' exodus, as we like to call it, they were all very much struggling with whether or not they were going to drop the Sims content completely, or I guess they were wondering if dropping EA and dropping their contract with EA was going to be enough for their community. So I think that at the center of it, there's this need to continue to keep The Sims as a game, as a brand, as their own identity for their content. And to me, that is always so, I don't want to say sad, because sad is reductive, but I just think that when you've reached certain numbers as a creator, people like you for you. They don't like you because of the game you're playing. And I actually appreciate seeing when some of these creators actually try transitioning to something different, because maybe they do see a change. Maybe they do see some people leaving, but honey, there's so many of us on this planet. So for as many as you'll lose, there are going to be people, coming in, because the point of your brand is you. It's not The Sims. It's not EA.
Yes. I mean, it's a dying game. So you're going to have to jump ship at some point anyway.
Yeah.
Look, I personally would argue that buyout or not, it's kind of unethical to promote and market a product that is so expensive and that is so exploitative to consumers, so anti-consumer. The Sims 4 in total costs over $1,500. So I was criticizing some of these people pre-buyout and saying, when does it end? Like, how many sponsored videos are you going to do for this game? Because we're already at 100 DLC. So at what point is it your role as a creator and, someone who has a pretty significant platform? At what point is the right thing to do to stop promoting this game? Because it's already exploitative. It's already predatory, as is, buyout or not. So if I look at it that way, to me, I think it's perfectly fine to criticize a public figure for the company that they decide to partner with in this capacity. But also, as you said, there's a whole other viewpoint or a whole other perspective of this when we consider the buyout and when we consider, I guess, the future of this game and this IP. So on one hand, we have Sims creators who have been distancing themselves from The Sims, like you were saying, pivoting into other games. And on the other hand, we have some Sims creators who are fully embracing this game and are continuing to work with EA. And we have some shining examples of those creators right here. So does anybody remember that little coach collaboration from a few months back?
I wish I could forget about it, but it's just sculpted in my brain. I need everybody to remember that The Sims 4 collabed with Coach, this high-end luxury brand famous for their collection of bags. It's very important that we don't forget that they shipped items, branded items, into The Sims 4 for free. That's true. It was for free, right? Yes.
Yeah. It was part of an update, I think.
So free. However, what is the point? And I'm going to die on this hill. What is the point, dear listeners and watchers? What's the point of adding handbags to The Sims 4 when Sims cannot wear them?
I mean, what is the point of that? So they did this collab with Coach. They added some Coach bags into The Sims 4. And then when people went to play with those Coach bags, they learned that, wait, I can't even carry the bag? What? What a
It's
disaster.
insanity. It's insanity. But you know who gets to actually carry and wear the actual Coach bags? Well, Sims influencers that got them for free.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Andrew Wilson, and I was just picturing him with his little Coach bag walking around.
Oh no,
In my
honey,
dreams.
that's not enough. That's Andrew Wilson is obviously going around with probably like a Louis Vuitton super tacky luggage set for sure. Andrew Wilson and nobody in his family are using Coach bags. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. I know that for sure.
Yeah, it's designer, but it's not like ultra luxury enough for EA CEO. When he's
Nah.
with the Kushners and the Trump family, he's not carrying Coach around. That's for sure.
No.
But as Lady Drama said, there are a few Sims creators who were gifted as in free, just as a reminder, Coach bags, Coach t-shirts. And could you tell us a little bit about how much these gifts were worth?
Gladly. I thought you never asked. I couldn't. I'm here. I want to say it. So maybe we're not all familiar with the price tag of these brands, but we're going to see the bags, if you're watching, that these influencers were gifted. And on average, a handbag, regardless of collection, material, and size, a Coach handbag is on average 400 euros.
Jesus.
Thank you, Barbie.
Jesus. That's a lot of money for a bag.
Look, that's a big gift.
It's
not.
a lot of money for a gift. Exactly. Yeah.
It's not just. Remember when they gifted them those Casio watches? That's a little bit more. I can afford a Casio watch if I want to. A Coach bag. I know. I was just saying that Coach is not that high end, but the truth is, as regular people, like, my birthday is tomorrow, but I don't think you can gift me a Coach bag. That's an expensive gift.
Yeah. Any sugar daddies or sugar mommies in the chat, just hit us up. We're willing and able.
Yeah, but I want the cash. I don't need the Coach bag. Thank you very much.
It's a smart lady right here. Take the cash. Well, I know in US dollars, this specific bag costs $450 US. And along with the bag, they were also sent a t-shirt, which I believe was $150 for the one I saw was like a black t-shirt with a dinosaur on it. Look, I love me a T-Rex, but I'm not paying $150 for a T-Rex t-shirt. Sorry, not
Absolutely
interested.
not.
But I guess when you're getting it for free, it's a totally different story.
Some people even said that it changed their lives to receive these wonderful gifts from the universe, aka Electronic Arts.
Yes.
So.
And the amazing thing is, some of these creators are going to be happy to hear that a Coach collab part 2 is dropping in The Sims 4 any day now. So there's yet another Coach collaboration coming to The Sims. Will there be wearable purses with this collab? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I am very, very doubtful.
Yeah, I don't think they can do that. Custom content creators can do that, because I know I always say this. If you've been listening or watching, I always mention this, but I think it's just so telling. I had in my The Sims 3 game custom content that was not made yesterday. It was made when The Sims 3 was the, current Sims game. And some of my Sims over there, they were going around with a handbag and it looked great. It didn't even look, weird or buggy. So The Sims 3 custom content creators back in 2012 were able to do this, but The Sims 4 is collabing with Coach because they are collabing with the brand in order to ship branded content onto the game. And they have enough budget to send, your favorite Sims influencers these expensive items, but they don't have enough budget to code the items into the game in a way that is more than just, a sculpture, because that is the extent of it. So these bags just exist. So you can play pretend that your Sims have like a boutique and are selling designer bags. It's just so crazy.
Well, I think some of these Sims creators are really hoping to get another round of Coach bags, because even though that collaboration dropped a few months ago, to this day, there are still Sims 4 creators who are making TikToks and YouTube shorts that are sponsored by The Sims and Coach. So this first video is from a creator who received the Coach bag back in, I think it was February. And
yeah.
Let's take a look at the caption here. Lady Drama, can you read that for us?
Yes. Truly, I can't believe my face is in The Sims 4 currently. The imposter syndrome is at 1000%. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported me over the years. None of this would be possible without you guys. Thank you at Coach and at The Sims for this insane opportunity. Enter the hashtag Coach Tabby Challenge today. Smiley face.
And the text on the video says, "This is your sign to keep pursuing your silly dream." What is the dream? I guess to get a Coach bag? I don't know. In the video, we have this Sims creator looking at their computer screen, I believe. And when they turn the camera around, we can see a little picture on the Sims 4 home screen that says,
yes,
that has their image, and it says create with Coach. And it's literally a picture of her holding up her gifted Coach bag that she
and
got.
serving face. That's
Serving
it.
face. Serving face, absolutely. I do want to say this is clearly a younger influencer, maybe Gen Z. I don't know the exact age. But I think there is an important part of this discussion here, and we talked about this before. A lot of these younger influencers kind of grew up watching people like, all the makeup influencers and the lifestyle influencers kind of bragging about brand deals and how this is such a life-changing opportunity to work with the brand. And maybe for them, they truly do believe that getting to work with The Sims and or Coach or both is this incredible once-in-a-lifetime dreams come true opportunity. Obviously, I feel a lot differently. I do not feel the same. I think that, I think what's important as a creator or an influencer is to use your platform to talk about important shit and share an important message or advocate for a group of people, whatever it may be. It's certainly not getting $400 Coach bags from brands. That to me is not what the value of a creator or influencer. But at the same time, I can kind of understand for these younger influencers that this is what they think it means to be a successful content creator, is getting a Coach bag and getting to do this Sim sponsorship. That's what they think makes them valued as a creator.
Yeah, that's true. And especially in the ecosystem of Sims influencers, I believe that probably the top of the success is exactly what we have on screen right now. Your face or your name being featured within The Sims 4, because that is the ultimate validation, right? It is The Sims brand showcasing you to the rest of the player base and saying, this is our spokesperson. And so in the pipeline of becoming a Sims influencer, I guess that is the apex. What else? I think it's that, maybe making a kit, like we've seen that has happened before. What else is there? going to Sims events. I think these are all the peaks and the ultimate goals that you can have when your influencer personality is all about The Sims, right?
Absolutely. But we have another example similar to this one from someone who's been working with EA and The Sims for several years. And I guess the message is just another inspirational, dream come true kind of moment. We have a Sims influencer who is kind of doing a side by side of their real self and then their Sim self. And in the real version and in the Sims version, they have, of course, their Coach bag there. Right next to them, best friends. I don't know if you noticed here, this Sims creator is decked out in Coach. We have a Coach t-shirt. We have the Coach bag, of course. And we have Coach shoes. And I could be wrong on this, but I also saw another Sims influencer unboxing a pair of Coach shoes. So,
wow.
I think they were the same.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know they made shoes.
Yeah. I mean, with the big C there on the side, I'm assuming this is Coach, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm under the impression that, you know, since this is the second creator I saw wearing Coach shoes, unless they're just going out and buying a pair of Coach shoes for this video, I think that these were also gifted by The Sims / Coach. So this must be like this could be $1,000 outfit and thousands of dollars or $1,000 worth of gifts just for this video.
I mean, for sure, it's $1,000 worth of The Sims 4 packs, if anything.
Oh, for sure. And the caption says, "Games taught me how to be my own main character. Each and every time. The Sims 4 times Coach has dropped, which means we can continue to show up as our best selves in virtual worlds and in the real ones. At Coach, at The Sims, Coach New York, #Coach Partner." And this is a sponsored video, as we can see from the paid partnership tag. Lady Drama, do you think that working with Coach and The Sims is how you show your best self to the world?
I mean, I would just go get a Coach bag and call it a day. Be showing my best self, and you know, be such an advocate for self-love. By the way, listeners, you will tell me if I'm wrong, but this to me is absolutely giving capitalism be like, you know, the creator is talking about, you know, finding yourself. And by the way, it's also very implicit because if you're just listening to it, what they're saying is you need to find yourself through play. You can be your best self and you can practice self-love through play in real worlds and in virtual worlds. So we're not even hearing what the implicit message of this is. But when you're watching the video, you will see that we see this creator, you know, showing the bag. And in these points of the video where she talks about finding yourself, self-love, confidence and whatnot, it's all about the bag that you're using. Is it all about the clothes that you're wearing? This is advertisement, pure advertisement, and it's trying to combine. It must be tough to do it. It must be tough to combine, you know, the idea of playing The Sims 4 with the idea of a luxury brand. And it's just weaponizing these concepts of like confidence and finding yourself and loving yourself. Don't be fooled, honey. This has nothing to do with the bag that you're carrying. This has nothing to do with the shoes that you're wearing, nor with the sponsorships that you're getting as a creator. You know, being confident and loving yourself is actually, at least in my opinion, the fucking opposite of all of that. It should not matter whether you can afford to be gifted a branded luxury brand bag. It just, honestly, it triggers me because I am a believer in, you know, confidence and loving yourself. And so whenever I see capitalism just coming with their sticky fingers for these ideas and just basically commodifying it. It does something to me. It truly pisses me off. And so even though probably the message that this creator is trying to talk about is actually positive, she's not saying hate yourself unless you have a Coach bag, but the implicit is you can be confident and love yourself if you play The Sims and wear a Coach bag, which I can because I was gifted one. Look at me, so successful, making my dreams come true.
Absolutely. I think it's really disingenuous and dangerous for a creator who has tens of thousands of followers on social media to make a video like this. Whether their intentions were good or not doesn't really matter, because the message is still the same. They're tying self-worth to luxury goods and a video game. That concept is very strange, and I think it's not a message you should be sending to your viewers, especially the impressionable viewers. Some of them might be young people who are watching, who are thinking, oh, wow, this is what it means to be your true self. This is what it means to be successful and to make it as a content creator or just as a person. I think it's really messed up. It's really tone deaf. This video would be great if it weren't sponsored. Make this video on its own without the gifted shit and the sponsorship. Make it on its own. It's a great message itself.
Exactly.
But when it's combined with the fact that, okay, she's getting all this stuff for free and she would not be making the video if she were not getting paid to do it. It sends the wrong signal. So, and I want to show you here that I believe my assumption was correct. Here we have a different Sims creator with the same Coach shoes on a sponsored video. So
here are the shoes.
Damn. They're really, going all out with this with these gifts, huh? Damn.
Absolutely. I'm seeing, okay, they also have this luggage piece to put in the game to change clothes. Okay.
So we saw
and then
them.
The t-shirts.
Yeah. So we saw them wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
We saw the one we just watched. It's like this shirt that just says Coach on it with some design. And this is a completely different creator for those who are just listening. Yet another gift from Coach. Of course, we have the bag that I thought it was funny how in all these videos, the Coach bag is in every single shot that they film.
Of course.
I love this comment on this video. It says, "This makes me so happy for you. You are so deserving. I love your videos." And it's like, I'm not sure any influencer deserves this type of gift. I'm sorry. What did we do that was so special and amazing that makes this creator so deserving of this several $100 gift? I'm not understanding what they did that was so significant or special.
They work so hard. Do you know how hard it is to make all of these videos, to play The Sims 4 all of these hours?
You know what?
That's a tough job.
I am imagining that there are a ton of bugs and glitches and crashes that they have to deal with every time they go to film a Sims 4 video. So it must be really hard. I can't imagine.
Right? That would give me a migraine just thinking about it.
You're right. You're right. So several months later, the same creator made another sponsored video for Coach. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but they're really milking the Sims Coach collaboration. I have seen one creator making 4 separate videos that were all sponsored about this Coach collab. And maybe this is why they're doing a part 2 to the Coach collab and they're updating the game with even more Coach products, because maybe these videos were successful at getting people to What is the goal again? Is the goal to buy
Mm,
Coach, or is the goal to buy The Sims, or both?
yeah, I
I
was
guess.
actually wondering. I think probably, this is my opinion, probably from the influencer's perspective, they had to make so many because that was part of the deal. You know, you
Yeah.
want the bag, you better work for it. From Coach perspective, I think the real winner in this collaboration is Coach because they're able to market themselves to a very much younger audience than the one you would expect. I don't think that Coach is a brand that younger consumers really desire.
Right.
So this is a very good showcase for a brand like this one that doesn't really have much luxury legacy. I think to a younger audience, if they think luxury bags, they will not think about a Coach bag. Maybe now they do. If the partnership worked, maybe now they do. For The Sims 4, I mean, I think the objective is always the same. They need people to log into the game. They need to feed this behavior of you log in, you get rewarded. I saw a
Right.
post the other day that said, once upon a time, you would get rewarded if you were good at games. And nowadays, you just get rewarded because you're logging into the games. And I think that that was the objective from The Sims 4's perspective.
I agree. I agree. Look, we know EA has the money to throw out. To your point, this is obviously beneficial to The Sims and to Coach. So the collab makes sense, right? Regardless of who is paying who.
True.
We know the
Yeah.
influencer is getting paid. We know The Sims is getting paid, and we know Coach is getting paid directly or indirectly through this. It's
Yes.
advertisement.
It's an advertisement deal, exactly. And everybody's getting some sort of benefit, and they want to make players believe that they're getting something off of it too, because they're getting free stuff in a game update. They're getting bags that their Sims cannot even wear. So I think that
Right.
with all of these gifts and benefits, the ones that are, as usual, getting fucked are the consumers, because like the influencers are getting a nice branded luxury bag. Coach is getting advertisement. The Sims 4 is getting people to log in into the game again. But what are you, the Sims 4 players, getting at the end of the day?
That is the question. The age-old question, folks. What are you getting at the end of the day? Well, you might be getting a trip to a huge convention. Yes. So tell us a little bit about some of these recent videos, very recent videos we've been seeing from a few Sims creators who were invited, flown out to this big convention, right?
Yes. So according to them, because I didn't know that this gaming event was happening. We have a lot, especially during the summer, all over the world. There are many gaming conventions, many gaming events. And even if you are interested in gaming, not necessarily will you know about all of them. But according to, and kind of quoting them, but we'll hear them explain it, The Sims slash Electronic Arts, they flew a bunch of Sims influencers to DreamCon, which is an event that is all about gaming. Though I've seen images and footage from these influencers and their experiences there. So I guess my main knowledge of DreamCon and what was happening in sense of the event activities, it really boils down to the Sims environment, because that's basically all they talked about and all that they showed. So they were paid to go, I guess, or at least some expenses refund. I don't know.
Yeah.
To go to the event and kind of, rejoice together as a Sims community.
Y'all, The Sims sent me to DreamCon 2026, and I am still recovering from all of the fun we had this weekend. One of my favorite experiences was being on the Sims panel moderated by V. Amare. I was truly honored to be sitting amongst panelists who helped build the Sims community to what it is today. And that was the theme of the weekend, community. From being with other Sims creators and the Sims team to meeting folks from my own gaming community, this DreamCon was fun because I was able to deepen my connection with the people who make my favorite game come to life in real life. Plus, it always amazes me to see how large the Sims community is in person. So I'm not gonna hold you. If you didn't go to DreamCon this year, you missed out. But don't worry, there's always next year. And thanks again to the Sims team for helping make this DreamCon one to remember. Until next time, y'all. Y'all.
Well, Lady Drama.
Dag.
So a group of popular Sims creators who, like you said, are all on the EA Creator Network were flown out to, invited to this DreamCon event, and they all made videos about it, of course. They have on their Plum Bob headbands. I even saw
course.
someone with, was that a Plum Bob tattoo?
Yes, I think.
Please don't tell me that's real.
No, they probably were giving them, you know, those water tattoos
Like henna or
that
whatever?
you can do.
Oh, yeah.
No,
No.
like those that basically they are printed on a paper that is like a special paper, and you put it on your skin, and then you tap it with water, and it transfers to your skin like a sticker kind of thing, but it stays for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looked like to me. I don't think that they were doing anything more on a higher budget than that. And I also think that I saw something like that, like these tattoos in on the Sims. How is it? Shop the Sims website. They probably had something like that. Like, this is all merch we've seen already. This bag that this influencer is wearing, seen it. The teeth thing really, really shook me, honey. I was not expecting for them to give you, you know, whitening work on your teeth and also applying some little gems. I haven't played The Sims 4 in a long time, so I don't know if that is maybe a new game feature that you can put like these little gems on your Sims teeth, but I don't see the the connection between The Sims 4 and getting a little rhinestone on your teeth.
It could be the next Sims 4 expansion. Get teeth. And that's what
Get
you
teeth.
do. Yeah. This must have cost EA a pretty penny, because I think we found at least 5 different Sims creators who were flown out to this convention, and
Yeah.
plane tickets, lodging. We see them all sitting down eating fancy food together. This is an interesting thing to spend money on. Obviously, there was a panel, so they invited a bunch of Sims creators. That one of them in particular was the same one who was in the coach video. But look, do you think this is an effective use of a marketing budget or of a company's budget in general?
That's a good question, because on one hand, yes, they spend some good money. And look, I'm always happy when people are traveling and are having a first class experience, you know, especially if you're being sponsored by a brand. They better put you in a nice hotel, give you a nice meal and gifts. Like, I love it for them. But I do not think that in the bigger scale of budgeting and influencer economy and Sims influencers and the amount that EA spends, I don't think that is that big of an effort, because let's recap. So the merch that we see they were gifted is past collection, honey. I've seen that bag at least for 1 year going around on like social media, being promoted. So that's not new merch.
That was
Then you have
season merch?
last season.
So
Last season?
disrespectful. You can't even get them the new stuff.
Or, you know, something that is exclusive to this, you know, even when you're working for companies and they send you to events and gatherings, usually they have very specific merch that they're just making for that specific event. They're not giving you the pants and the bags that they had in some dusty boxes somewhere that they couldn't sell. I'm just
Right.
saying. And also, look at the benefits for EA. So, yeah, they fly and they cover expenses for all of these Sims influencers that are already in the network. True. But what do they get? They get, free marketing, not only of the event, which is great, but also of how great the Sims brand is to these influencers who are, by the way, followed by who? Sims community people, right? Sims players. So it's great advertisement. They're also advertising the merch. So that's also great. They're creating community and brand love from the community because they're talking about being all together and they're talking about being able to meet with other creators. So they reinforce this concept of a strong community love. And they also got panelists out of this. The ones who received the real gifts are people at EA because they didn't have to pay standalone things, for example, advertisement, panelists, ads for the merch, and other strategies to create brand love. So regardless of, again, I hope that they were staying at a 5 stars because they are doing so much work for Electronic Arts with these videos.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The argument could be made that, look, we know companies have separate budgets for separate activities. Here, this is for marketing, this is for game development, or this part of that is for fixing bugs. I know a lot of people, whenever they see these videos, they think, oh, so they're paying off all these influencers instead of actually fixing the problems with the game. And I get that. We get that, right? We totally get that perspective. But at the same time, perhaps it's not realistic to how these massive corporations work. Like they have a set budget for marketing, or maybe even for influencer marketing specifically, that they have to spend. So while I do agree with people who say, where are our priorities? Why are we paying these influencers and sending them gifts and sending them to conventions instead of actually working on the game? I totally agree with anyone who says that. At the same time, they have a marketing budget that they have to spend on something. And in a lot of cases, it is more effective for a company to pay an influencer, even if it's a smaller creator, to promote their game than it is to pay for, a commercial or advertisements, on YouTube or something like that. Like when you're watching a video.
Absolutely.
It's a lot cheaper. And they're also getting access to that influencer's followers, hundreds or thousands of people who watch their videos. So if you think about it that way, you're not only paying for the talent of the influencer, you're also paying for access to all of their followers as well. So influencer marketing can be a very effective strategy and a very effective way to get people to buy your shit effectively.
100%. And in this case, I believe it also helps with the cleanup that clearly the Sims team is aiming for of the Sims image, right? Because for as much as I love it for them and the great experience that they all had and the great community love that they all felt, this was happening right now. So while the buyout is being finalized, Sims influencers, not only are they promoting Sims content and so advertising Electronic Arts IPs to consumers so that consumers will go and spend money on EA's IPs. They're participating in this total washing of what is going on, because if you see the comments to these DreamCon recap videos, people are not really inquiring about the buyout over there. They're just happy that the influencers got to do their cosplay, do their little Simlish karaoke which is
Yeah.
a phrase I never thought I would say in my life. And, you know, have their fun and feel that Sims community love. Because isn't that, if you worked for EA, wouldn't you aim for that exactly? You know, just think about The Sims and how great the community is. And you can dress up like the Grim Reaper, and you can sing in Simlish and have these panels where we talk about things that are not related to the buyout. I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, we hear that term sports washing getting thrown out a lot regarding Saudi Arabia and what they've done with esports.
Yeah.
This is kind of like sim washing. Like, we are using
Yes.
these Sims influencers to reshape and redirect the attention, the negative attention surrounding the buyout, and rather focusing it, redirecting it to this game and this community and everything amazing and incredible about the Sims franchise.
And we know that the Sims 4 players apparently love a good cosplay because they just can't stop doing it.
I mean, how many different Grim Reapers are we going to see? So for those who are curious, DreamCon is this convention, and the focus is to gather primarily a bunch of gamers and celebrate diversity and inclusion in video games, which, to be clear, obviously we're a huge fan of that. Like,
Absolutely.
this convention actually seems like a lot of fun, but whenever we put this into the scope of something like the EA buyout, which we know that a lot of Sims players in particular, even with other EA IP like BioWare, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, there's a lot of concerns about whether these games will be stripped of those types of efforts, diversity and inclusion in general, not even considering the whole Saudi government and their oppression of marginalized groups. So whenever we factor in that element to it, do you think part of this sponsoring these Sims creators to go to DreamCon in Houston, Texas, do you think that an element of that is also this washing of and trying to redirect people's attention away from those aspects, those concerns with the EA buyout by sponsoring these creators? Do you think that's part of this?
I think it is. And look, it pains me to say this. I really wish that, you know, a company like EA, through a brand like The Sims, could just, you know, have these sponsorships and actually, you know, have these influencers fly to these events for reasons that are not merely, you know, virtue signaling, that
Right.
have nothing to do with reassuring in a way their community about their commitment to diversity and inclusion. We have seen several examples, different than specific events like we're seeing here, but we've seen in the past months many different attempts from the Sims brand to kind of calm down the fear in the community for the loss of not only the loss of diversity and inclusion, but, you know, with a brand like The Sims, so many people, as we've heard them, really put it together. They put The Sims brand and their own identity and their own love for diversity and inclusion. They put it hand in hand. And so when the buyout news exploded, these people were concerned for this aspect specifically. So this is not the first example. This is not the first effort from Electronic Arts to kind of show the Sims player base that these values are something that are going to stay with the Sims brand. We've seen them making social media posts. We've seen them making whole web pages just to remind players and Sims fans that, you know, they are supporting diverse creators, and they are supporting the organizations and charities that these creators work with. But then, for example, Pride Month comes and The Sims social media page is absolutely silent throughout the entire month until the very last week, where they say that they are, sponsoring a live stream from a creator who's a drag queen. And that was their maximum effort during Pride Month, for example. So I really don't buy it. Again, I think this event is great and probably a lot of fun. I do believe these creators had a great time. And I do believe that these creators felt that community love. But I really don't like the intention behind it from Electronic Arts.
Exactly. There's a difference between talking about how much you love diversity and inclusion and actually taking action to promote and protect diversity and inclusion. And when we put all of this into the perspective of the EA buyout, knowing well aware who is getting enriched from that buyout, aka human rights abusers, all of this comes across as extremely inauthentic. You cannot, on one hand, say, we care so much about diversity and inclusion in games, and we're promoting that, and our values aren't changing, when the profits from this company are literally enriching human rights abusers and the fucking Trump family. It's so disingenuous, and it's inauthentic, and it's fake. And that is what I think bothers both of us so much about this, is it's great whenever a company or an organization or an individual is authentically, genuinely showing us that they value diversity and inclusion. But it is not genuine in this case. And a lot of us see through this type of initiative, this type of effort, like they're doing with sponsoring these creators to go to DreamCon. Whenever you consider the whole picture, it just comes across as performative and fake. That's how I feel.
Same. Fake, fake, fake. Do not buy it. Do not believe it. And keep boycotting hot people.
Absolutely. And here we have another creator who was sponsored to attend DreamCon. We have audio here, so for those who are just joining us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, take a listen.
The Sims sent me to DreamCon, and I dressed up as Bob Pancakes. DreamCon is an anime and gaming convention bringing like-minded fans from all over. When I say the Sims community showed up, we showed up. Houston was hot, so I had to get Houston ready. I made sure I packed right. But the highlight, just being with the fellow Simmers. We feast, hit the branded party, spoke on panels, and my favorite part, the cosplay, of course. And we did Simlish karaoke. Another favorite moment at DreamCon was showing up for the Sims fans by taking photos and giving them merch. I really can't put in words what this community really means to me without getting emotional. If it wasn't for these platforms and the Sims team and for you guys supporting me, I wouldn't be here. DreamCon is a place where everyone belongs. This is truly a dream come true. Dream big, supervillains.
Wait, so they had the influencers handing merch to people who were attending DreamCon?
Yeah,
Wow.
like they were at a concert and they were just throwing the merch out to the plebes in the audience.
Right? But in one segment of this video, we see him with this paper bag just going around like this. It's like he was handing, flyers for a free entry to a club or something. But it was just the Sims merch. Okay.
Yeah. In this video, he talks about the community and how that was such a highlight of this whole experience. And again, we get that We understand that. But at the same time, it doesn't come across, at least from EA's perspective of sponsoring all these creators to attend this event, it doesn't come across as authentic when we know damn well what's happening behind the scenes and who this company is being acquired by. I think that to me is the biggest takeaway from all this is it just screams inauthentic when we consider the context during which all of this is happening.
Exactly. I completely agree. And it's what I was saying before. I believe that this was a great experience for the creators that got to attend, even if it came attached to probably the obligation to make this content, because there's no way the Sims team is sending them over there for free. At least, make some content. But I think they even, they overworked these influencers because they had them on the panel. They had them on the karaoke. They had them taking pictures with fans. They had them handing merch. That's actually, they send them there to work and to help with the cleanup of the image. Because again, imagine you are a fan of these creators. You are going to watch their experiences and you're not going to think that this came from the budget of a company that is going through the whole buyout ordeal as Electronic Arts is. Because these two things cannot go together. And that's exactly the objective, in my opinion, that EA has set when they decide to pay for these influencers to go to this type of events.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Seems like a fun time though.
Yeah. Yeah, everything looks fun. These type of conventions must be really a fun trip, actually.
I don't know about the karaoke part though. I can't even.
Oh, fuck no.
I can barely do karaoke in English, let alone in Simlish. How would that even work? Do you feel like there's a element to this where these influencers are being taken advantage of or being used by EA unfairly? Or do you feel like they're willing participants and they know exactly what's going on? Which side of the coin do you fall on? Because I feel like our viewers might have some very strong opinions about this. I'm kind of the leader of the anti-influencer movement with video games. So I tend to be more pessimistic with my opinion on these things. But I'm curious how you feel about this. And it's okay how you feel either way. What do you think?
Thank
Are
you.
they, or is it a combination of both? Truly, because it kind of is.
No, it is a nuanced conversation, but I gotta be honest with you. I really appreciate this question because when I was watching these videos for the first time as we were doing our research work, I have to be honest, my thought was, I felt bad for these creators. However, but that's just because I am an empath.
Jesus.
And I have corporate experience, but also jokes aside, although as a person, I'm naturally inclined to empathizing with people and seeing their perspective. I also don't want to fall into the trap that is infantilizing creators just because they have a whimsical and bubbly delivery of whatever script they're reading. Okay.
Yeah.
They are professionals. They are adults.
Yes.
And they always have the chance to do better and to know better. And for as much as, I watch these videos and I'm like, I feel bad because it's clear that you're being used by this corporation who's currently in need for some strength in the brand love that is The Sims. And so they're using you to do it. And they're making you do all of this work because sure, again, they're flying you out there and they're giving you the food and they're making you, meet all these people, but you're doing work. You're filming this content. You are going to the events. You are having these meetings. You're doing the panel. So
You're singing
not just-
karaoke.
you're singing at the karaoke. You're throwing the merch. So for as much as I see that, and I wonder if these creators see that, I also believe that that is just me falling into the trap that probably many viewers fall into too, which is, oh, look at them. They're having such a great time, and good for them. And even if EA is exploiting them and like using their public image in order to clean up the Sims image, I feel bad. But the truth is they are gaining something out of this, and they are, more importantly, doing this willingly. Nobody's forcing them. They have strong communities supporting them in their endeavors. And when we put them in the box of consenting, grown, adult, professional that has built a career as a digital influencer, it just, this whole thesis of, I'm an empath, it does not hold up, because they are still choosing to endorse Electronic Arts even after the whole conversation about the buyout, even if The Sims 4 as a game is just a cash grab that is over 1K in value if you want to purchase all the freaking packs, they're still choosing to feed the community that got them there, in their words, not mine. They're the ones that are saying, I would have never, I could never be here without my community and without EA and without DreamCon. They said it, not me. So the same community that gave you access to all of these opportunities is the community that you keep promoting Electronic Arts as a brand to, and their content. And you just keep asking your community to give money to Electronic Arts, the same company that has zero consumer consideration with or without the buyout. Add in the buyout to the ingredients of this mess, it just gets even worse. So that's my take. I can't ignore that, for as much as I think that there is one element of corporate exploitation, but they don't have to do it, basically. They are choosing to do this.
Exactly. Both things can be true. EA can be using them and taking full advantage of them on one hand, but they can also be willing participants who are also benefiting in multiple ways, as we've seen: gifts, flights, hotels, merch, cash money. Both things can be true at the same time. And in my eyes, like you said, honestly, it's inexcusable. You're a grown adult who is confronted with the decision of whether I want to keep working with EA and enriching this company that is currently being acquired by you know who, they who must not be named, right? Or am I going to cut ties and stand with my community and, I guess, make a decision rooted in integrity? And they're choosing to work with EA. It's really hard to defend that behavior. And, there are a lot of people, a lot of viewers and Sims 4 players who don't really consider the context of this. And when they see people like us criticizing these creators, they see two people criticizing, attacking, is what they often say, these influencers who are just having fun and just doing their job and just playing the game that they love. But there's more to the story than that. And look, this isn't just a conversation about The Sims or even EA. This is a conversation that's happening in influencer culture in general. And this is a case where we have handfuls of influencers who are prioritizing their financial relationship with a company over you, the viewer, and you, the player. And there's no excuse, in my opinion. I guess this is what I have to say.
Death to all of them.
Just as a legal notice, we do not wish death on anyone that
No.
we showed in this video.
It's just a soundbite.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's hypothetical. So, Lady Drama, I think we should continue this discussion over on our Patreon. We're going to be reacting to even more sponsored by The Sims videos. And look, in the meantime, EA, we're keeping an eye out on our email inbox. So, not that we're going to take you up on your offer, but we'd love to include the email in the next video and roast you.
That would be amazing.
I
Amazing.
agree. So join us on Patreon. You can get access to hours and hours of bonus footage for just $5 a month.
It's a deal. Snatch it now, baby. And if you don't want to, don't worry. As long as you support us over here and you meet us for another episode next Sunday. Don't forget, we're
See you
here
there.
every Sundays.
Yes. See you next time.
Ciao.
Jesus.
Dag.
Oh, God.
With
She
that,
took
like,
it there,
death,
folks.
with that death tone of voice. Dag.
Dag.